So crazy. Let me turn this thing on over here. It look like the sun is hitting me literally. It's behind the wall, but since it's bouncing off the wall, it's like it's incredible. Incredible. I'm just chilling, y'all. I ain't doing nothing. Can turn on some old school music. Love old school music. I gotta rest up. I hate resting up. Like I was lifting weights early and stuff, so I gotta let my body rest up. I hate resting up. And then it's hot. You know how it be 80 degrees, 90 degrees outside? Inside my studio, it'd be even hotter. Cause there's no like air circulating through here. It'd be even hotter. Should be ridiculous. So if it's 80 outside, it's 85 in here. With all the equipment and stuff. Psh, what I wanna listen to? Let's listen to some old school R&B. Where we at? There we go. Got the 90s and the 20s. Yeah. My neck. I can't turn the volume from there. Ah, I never showed y'all the studio. So I can show y'all real quick. This will be the only video I'm doing this on. Possibly, I don't know. But look. Yeah. Okay. that's, that's all I get. That's all y'all get, man. So hot. Look at my back, my shoulders. Oh my god. This all happened earlier. So supposedly I'm turning into a diamond, literally. I don't think I drank water in like a week. Healing up, things of that nature. So that's what we're going through right now. On this journey with God, trusting and believing in the right things. Because they like to poison us in this world. It's insane. They like to water us down. They do a whole lot of stuff, y'all. What's good, y'all? They do a whole lot of stuff that don't really make sense. I mean, it makes sense. Like, they can't have all of us in power because a lot of us don't know how to control our power. It's a lot of egotistic people on this planet. So, like, if everybody had their power, everybody had their magic, it'd be amazing. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a whole different world. But it's like so many people, they got their own paradigms in their head. Talk about them paradigms in their head. It ain't no telling what these people would do. So what happens is, and I noticed, it's not even like, let me turn this down a little bit so we can talk real quick. All right. So what I noticed is, what God showed me is, it's not even real wars and real battles going on. Like this is really what they talking about, the principalities. So let me give y'all an example real fast about a principality. Let's say you lived in a neighborhood, right? Your whole entire life. And let's say you had a car, or you didn't have a car, whatever the case may be. Now let's say God blesses you with $200 million, right? And you pull up with a Bentley. You pull up with a Bentley. You feel what I'm saying? You know how many people gonna be looking at you like, how he get that Bentley? Where he get that money from to get that Bentley? You know how many people gonna do that? And this is what I'm talking about. So as far as like when we saying about the, just the different stuff going on the planet, you gotta remember like other people got different resources because of where they stay on the planet. So you can just imagine, oh, they got the diamonds over there. So they like, shoot, they got diamonds. We ain't got no diamonds. Let's go over there and take their diamonds. Y'all know how people get. So that's basically what's going on. And it's all about principalities. What we need the diamonds for? I'll wait. You feel what I'm saying? What do we need these all these different resources for? You see what I'm saying? So this is where, like I said, when you get into the paradigms, these are principalities and paradigms that people built over time. Now, again, if y'all had y'all powers and y'all was walking on water, y'all was flying, you walking on clouds, you feel what I'm saying? Would you need the oil? No. Would you need the cars? No. You see where I'm going with it? Right. So instead, what they do is they take y'all out of y'all power, like on purpose. They take y'all out of y'all powers. They don't want y'all doing what Jesus did. They don't want y'all doing what Moses did. They don't want y'all commanding the dimension that we live in. They don't want y'all doing that. That takes away the power from them. That takes away the money from them. That takes away from the generations. So you got to understand that this is a whole program and system, and it's set up like this for a reason. Eventually, what's going to happen is though, because God is in control, what's going to happen is it's all going to change, and it's been changing. Um, for the people that got the eyes that can see, you see the changes. You can see the changes. The people are changing. And things are changing around you. You can see it, right? Like I said, when I grew up, we didn't have phones, we didn't have computers, we didn't have TVs, we didn't have nothing. So when we didn't have anything, we was all outside and we was communicating, we was tapping in with each other, like for real. Like we was in nature. People was barely home, right? There was more interaction with the people. They noticed that the more interaction we had with the people, that's where they had those Martin Luther Kings, and Harriet Tubmans, and people like that. During that time, they noticed that more people conjuring together, that created powerful forces. They don't want that happening. They like we can't be having powerful forces stopping us from what we doing. And it's like I said, like they can't control what's going on. So what's gonna happen is like we gonna end up taking power again. Like there ain't no way other way around it. It's either we take power again or the planet just dies. And obviously, the planet ain't gonna die. The planet will kill us before the planet dies. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. And a lot of y'all don't understand that. And that's why I tell people we gotta watch what we do. Because we also contribute to what's going on. We also contribute. Everybody does. If you have a car in general, you're creating pollution. Every time you turn the car on, every time you're driving it about, you're creating pollution. The tires on the roads, on the streets, everything like that. Between the wind of cars going like that, that's creating wind tunnels in the air, just like in the ocean, where you have different tidal waves and different type of waves going in the ocean. It's the same in the air. So then again, what happens is you start bringing tornadoes, right? Because Mother Nature, the way Mother Nature works is if any type of part of the planet gets overpopulated, if it gets over polluted, Mother Nature, what Mother Nature does is it sends tornadoes, right? If any part of Mother Nature needs to grow, the volcanoes erupt. Now again, they not telling these people about this stuff, right? So the people that stay like in Hawaii and places like that, y'all don't think that volcano going to erupt? Of course it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's only a amount of time, right? Um, there's other things like tsunamis, right? And that's for people that's in Florida, California, New York, things of that nature. Y'all don't think that's gonna happen? Of course it is. Like y'all gotta really truly understand what's going on. So as these ice caps melt, as the ice caps melt, the ocean rises. And as the ocean rises, it changed the tides, it changed the currents, it changed what's going on. And this is like this not rocket science. It's just obvious. Like if you put an ice cube in your cup of drink, right? You got a cup of drink, you put an ice cube in the cup. What happens? It rises, doesn't it? Okay. Like I said, that's a smaller frame. But if you put on a massive frame, you got this big old, you know what I'm saying? And everything is ice cubes is falling into the ocean, it's gonna rise, right? So then another thing is the earthquakes. Earthquakes been happening. So for the people that live in places like California, y'all already been feeling the earthquakes, and it's been happening repeatedly, right? We also got what else we got? We got forest fires. Forest fires, more forest fires. Why? Because it's not as much precipitation in the air. Why? Because we doing too much smoke. We got too much smog in the air from the cars, from the factories. So it's not the precipitation in the air is not the same. You start to notice like when people start building them bunkers. So now the thing about the bunkers is, and I'm gonna talk about this real quick so we can put this in perspective. You can get trapped up under the ground. You can get trapped up under the ground. You don't want to get trapped up under the ground. It's gonna be hard for you to get up out of there. So you'll start noticing that if anybody ever seen Jetsons or things like Futurama and things like that, you'll start noticing that eventually they're gonna start building cities up. They're gonna start building cities up. And like I said, we only in the beginning of this stuff. They already got the flying cars, they already got the self-driving cars, they already got all this stuff. Like we just in the beginning of it. What we waiting on now is for everything to be processed through, right? As everything gets processed through, they have to get the agreement. They got to get the certifications and things of that signed off, but everything's already here. Also, they're also waiting for things like inflation and things like that to either go up or go down. Me personally, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna go up. The reason why it needs to go up, because it kind of balances everything out, regardless if y'all believe that or not. You ain't got to believe it if you want to. It don't matter how, but it balances everything out. So as things is balancing out over these next 10 to 20 years, and that's what I'm telling y'all, you got to understand. They making so many rules and principles on this planet, but half these people ain't gonna be here. Some of these people ain't gonna be here 10 to 20 years from now. Some people ain't gonna be here 40 years from now. You see what I'm saying? But we still gonna be here. That's why it's so important to gain and grasp of the correct information and discernment right now. Because what's gonna happen is if you miss it now, in about 40 years, you're not gonna be thinking about it. You're gonna think it's a conspiracy thing until it actually knocks on your doorstep. And it just happens to a lot of people. They get lost in the sauce. So don't get lost in the sauce, y'all. Please don't get lost in the sauce. Like I said, it happens to a lot of people. Happy birthday, Aaliyah. Greetings for our Tania. Hey, what degrees it is out there? Argentina. Now, who this is? Digital Wizard. You got to get out of here, man. Digital Wizard got to get out of here. And this is what we got to start doing. We got to start hiding people from the channel because, like I said, it's all programming. It's all programming. It's all programming. So for the people that don't have discernment, they're not gonna understand what I'm talking about. For the people that have low IQ, they can't understand what I'm talking about. There's no way in the world you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. No way. No way. And we just gotta start understanding what's going on in these people's brains. It's called mental health for a reason. And a lot of people they need help. They need help. They lost, like I said, they lost in the sauce. Some of these people, the reason why they lost, I found out, is because they're not gonna survive to live to see it. So they don't believe in it because they're not gonna live to see it. Y'all, do y'all understand what I'm saying when I say that? So, for example, if somebody's going to die in the next 10 years, but there's going to be a massive tsunami in 15 years, they be like, I don't believe that. Well, yeah, you're not even going to be here to see it. So it's no point of your body and brain to even understand that. Y'all can see where I'm going with it? It's no point of God even giving you that information because you're not going to be here. But again, for people like us, we're going to be here about 40, 60, 80 more years. So it's like, damn, everything that they implement now, we going to have to live through. We going to have to live through it. And that's the part that people not understanding. They slowly missing that part because they so distracted. And that's what they tend to do. And then what happens is as they're distracted, their generational family gets nothing. But guess who? Guess who wins every time? The elite people, right? The people who started the system, the people who started the program, the people who's deceiving y'all. And it happens every single generation, every 10 to 20 years. It's gonna happen again and again and again until you have those couple of people that wake up, right? And that's called the awakening. And obviously that person that was down there, he wasn't awoke. Feel what I'm saying? No weed, bro. No weed. We said no weed. No weed. So the thing about weed, um, it's y'all want me to go in detail about this, bro? Okay, let's go into detail about this. All right. So weed creates fear in the body. That's the first thing. So anybody who ever smoked weed before, have you ever felt anxiety? Okay. You only feel anxiety when you're not connected to God, which means what? Which means weed is doing what? It steals your soul, literally, right? You smoke, you want to lay back, and chill. Now you like, man, I did want to go do that, but now I don't even want to do that no more. Now you're not motivated to do what you need to do. You get where I'm going with it? So that literally is a psychoscience, right? It's a psychoscience and it's a military, what they call it? Invention. We can call it that for now. For now, right? So they understand this is the reason why they make it legal in these states. They understand that what's gonna happen is there's not gonna be no Malcolm X's if people on the weed. So they put it out there on purpose. This is on purpose. They putting this stuff out there on purpose because they don't want people to be in their power. They understand that that takes away your power, literally. I've noticed personally, when you talking to people, let's say if you're talking to somebody who drink, right? As soon as they say something that might be true, you're gonna say, "Oh, nah, they tripping. Oh, nah, they crazy. They're alcoholic." Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Okay, somebody that smoke. What they say about the smokers? Oh no, they crazy. They conspiracy theories. All this and that and third. Am I right or wrong? So this is why God says stay sober and vigilant. Because when you sober, can't nobody say you tripping off nothing. Can't nobody say you tripping off nothing, right? And also, I noticed that with weed, it changes your vocal tone. So I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. I used to sing on songs, and what I noticed was when I tuned my voice, I noticed that when I was on weed, my voice was either sharp or it was flat. But the thing about it is, I still sound the same a tad little bit, but it's still sharp or flat. So now, when you talking to somebody and your voice is sharp or flat, they not gonna want to listen to what you're saying because you're sharp. You see what I'm saying? Or you're flat. They're not going to listen to that. You're not balanced. So then they don't believe what you're saying because it doesn't show the confidence doesn't project out of your voice, right? It's like thinning your voice. It's thinning the spirit. But when you don't thin the spirit, now you come with that courage, right? You come with that strength, right? You come with the Holy Spirit. People can really tell. It don't matter if they seen you do it or not. They can tell what the hell you on. And that's the part where I'm trying to get people to understand because a lot of people think that they can do things in the dark and it won't come to the light. It don't matter if I seen you do it or not. I can tell. I can tell. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of us are getting real discernment to where we can tell. We be like, okay, this person tripping. Or we be like, okay, that person right there, they know what they fucking talking about. And it's only a certain amount of time to where everybody's gonna start awakening to where everybody's gonna start understanding what's going on, the bigger picture, right? And like I said, it's a whole programming thing that they got going on. And it's not necessarily people. It's not people, right? It's principalities. It's all principalities. It's all about what they think in their head, what they think in their head, what they believe is true. Now, the thing about that is most people don't check with God to see what's true and what's false. They either take information from they got Google, Chat GTP. God bless y'all too, man. You know what I'm saying? They got a bunch of different sites to where they try to steer the narrative of the collective. They try to steer the narrative of how y'all think, right? And if you got a weak mind, you're gonna believe what they tell you. You're gonna believe what they tell you. If you got a weak mind, you're gonna believe what they tell you. You're gonna believe in all the poisons. You're gonna believe that they the medicine man, right? You're gonna believe in the kitchen witches. You're gonna believe in the doctors. You're gonna believe in all that shit. If you don't have no discernment, you're gonna believe in the stuff of this world. You're gonna be lost. And the thing about it is, and that's why it's like if you ever had somebody in your family who had, for example, cancer or a tumor, right? And then let's say they prayed to God, and then a month later they went to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh, it looks like there is nothing in your system. It looks like the cancer, the tumor is gone. It looks like you're all healed up." How did that happen? How did that happen? So again, like I said, there's things in this world that people do know. There's things that people don't know, and then there's things that people don't know they don't know. Right? And that's for example, and I can give you another example for that. That's like some people know 7 different languages, 10 different languages. Personally, I ain't gonna lie. I can vibe off a different language. I can kind of concept it, but shit, I only know one language to be honest. You feel what I'm saying? Um, but like I said, like there's things that we don't know, right? because the world is vast. It's vast. It's very vast. And then there's no limitations. The only limitations we have is the ones that we put upon ourselves. And that's the biggest part. So then another let's get into another paradigm. Another paradigm. Another paradigm will be the devil. Personally, there's no such thing, right? Personally, there's no such thing, right? Personally, there's no such thing. Believe that. I'm trying to tell y'all, you don't even want to believe that there's a devil. Why would you give power to the devil? Y'all get where I'm going with this? You don't even want to give power to it. Even if it was real, you don't want to give no power to it. But a lot of people, what they do, they don't take accountability. They give their power away. They say that this person did this person did that. They say that, oh, I was drunk or I was high, right? Some of y'all in relationships, y'all in bad relationships to where y'all get used and abused, right? And y'all don't even understand what's going on. Like I said, if I was talking to nowadays, this before it was cool. Before it was cool, man. You know, me and a girl, we drinking and we smoking. It was cool before. But once I understood what's really going on, once I understood how it affected me, once I understood how it affected that girl, once I understood what was really going on, I couldn't no longer do that no more. You feel what I'm saying? You can't no longer do that no more, especially if you standing with God. You're not finna be doing no foul shit. And a lot of people just get stuck in the fun. Y'all get stuck in the fun. And really it's not fun. It's not fun. Like blacking out, falling all over the place, not knowing what's going on the next day, having headaches and hangovers. That's not fun. That's not fun. That's not fun. Hey y'all. That's not fun at all. So like I said, once you start seeing through this stuff, you start having discernment. And of course you probably you make the mistakes over and over. I think I made mistakes million times, over and over, over and over and over and over and over and over, you know. But it happens. Like that's the part of the experience. Because without the experience, what's the point of living the life? So then at that point, you'd be like, okay, bet. I know what I need to do. And that's where we at with it. That's where we at with it, man. We know what we need to do, man. We know what we need to do. Right? We letting God lead, right? And we following. And then what happens is, and it happens a whole lot, especially when I get out outside. I will go outside now, but I ain't going outside. Well, I went outside earlier. I was outside all day. But what happens is, as you're following God, people follow you. That's the reason why they do have churches and things of that nature. That's the reason because they understand that the pastor is literally conjoining with God and talking with God and reading scripture. And that if they don't understand the scripture, they come into the church. That's why they have Bible study and things of that nature. So as long as you keep those principles simple like that, everything is simple. Once you start adding in all this other stuff, that's when the hypocrites start coming out, right? You start throwing all these different events, you got these food drives and all this other stuff. Once you start doing all that stuff, that's when the hypocrites come out. That's when you inviting people into the space of God that shouldn't be there. Um, there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people like that. A lot of people like that. There's a whole lot of people like that. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Bless you too. What that, Bunny? Bless you, Bunny. So it's just gonna take a little bit of time for these people to catch up. And then for the people that's not supposed to catch up, they just not supposed to catch up. And it's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Any of y'all remember when y'all was in math class? Me personally, I was smarter than the teacher in math, right? I used to tell the teacher the answers. I tell him, you're wrong. He like, how you gonna tell the teacher you wrong? Shit, that answer wrong, nigga. I just did it on my paper. His answer wrong. He like, oh man, I did. This is wrong. Hold on now. Let me change this real quick, right? But remember in that math class, they had some people in the background joking around and playing around, right? And them the same people who used to fail the test, the same people who could never get the answers right. The teacher would call them, they didn't know the answer right. And I'm telling y'all, it's the same people on this planet too. They're the same people walking around and running around. They missing all the discernment. They missing it. They failing the test, right? And God sends tests out, right? Life sends tests out, right? People send tests out, and people fail it every time, right? That's like a girl walking up to her boyfriend. She know he cheated, and she asking him what he did, and he's saying he didn't do nothing. He just failed the test. Just failed the test. She already knew what was going on, but he just failed the test. See what I'm saying? Those are the same flunkies, and ain't nothing no different. Like I said, ain't nothing changing. Ain't nothing changing. It's the same flunkies. They flunking out. They was flunking out before they still flunking out. So make sure y'all use discernment before y'all put anything inside that vessel. And that's the main thing. Before you put anything in that vessel, make sure y'all use discernment. There is ways of what they call transmuting. There is ways of transmuting, transmuting, and that's not allowing things to affect you in those type of ways. Chinese, see, we in the Western world, they so distracted by everything. But Chinese, they go online, y'all, and do your little research about the Chinese people that let the venomous snakes bite them, and they don't get affected. Now let an American get bit by a snake. They ass scared. Oh, really? I gotta go to the hospital. I'm bleeding. Da, 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 da." That's the American people. That's the Western society. But again, them Chinese people, they've been studying different things, right? So they understand that it's mind over matter. It's always mind over matter, right? Depending on how you think, again, we talking about the paradigms. Depending on how you think is depending on what you're gonna get in the world. Some people call it magic, witchcraft. We got warlock, we got zombies, we got werewolves, all them different things, right? We got fairies. I mean, like I said, if you don't believe in it, you won't see it. You won't see it. You won't see it. If you believe in it, you gonna see it. You gonna see it, right? So depending on what you believe in depends on what you receive. It's pretty much that simple. Again, these are paradigms in the head. So if you believe, again, we can get back on this car feature again, like because we out of power. If you believe that you need the car, I'm in Atlanta, y'all, just to let y'all know. So trust me, it's so many cars, bro, to the point where, like I said, if anything was to happen, ain't nobody getting nowhere. You would need a helicopter to get out of here. Ain't nobody getting nowhere. You ain't nobody going nowhere. Ain't nobody going nowhere. It's gonna be walking dead, literally. Walking dead, destruction everywhere, left and right. Literally. If anything was to happen. Because there's so many cars, right? And like that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. It ain't really nothing. But it is something to think about. It is something to think about, man. It is something to think about. Who is this? Young Car T Glitch. You gotta get out of here too, man. All right. Crazy, bro. The th- So what Young Cardi just did, he did what this other guy did. He decided to speak his mind. He decided to speak his mind when he shouldn't. That's what happened there. So we gotta get him out of here, man. We gotta get him out of here. Reason being is because we can't have nobody stopping what's going on. We can't have nobody stopping what's going on. No, no, yes, I believe that. Some guy named user I7B6B. He said Jesus loves you. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. I definitely believe that. You know what's so crazy? I had this one day I told this girl that I embody the Holy Spirit, right? She laughed at me, right? It's crazy. I ain't never had this happen before. She laughed at me. And tell me why she hit me up 2 months later saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were saying. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said." I was like, "You ain't gotta say sorry to me. Say sorry to God. That ain't got nothing to do with me." Uh, like I don't take it personal if you can't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear to understand what's going on here. I don't take that shit personal. You feel what I'm saying? You feel me? And that's how I be knowing exactly what side people on. Everybody can be the devil's advocate, right? Like I said, the devil ain't real, but you can be the devil's advocate. You can be an evil spirit if you want to. It's easy to be evil. It's easy to be nasty, right? That's easy. It's easy to curse people. It's easy to do that. That's the easiest thing. The hard thing to do is to be a good person. Even when people shitting on you, be a good person. That's what Jesus did. And that's what y'all fail to realize, right? He showed unconditional love regardless, right? He seen it's just like the man that was laying down on the ground who thought he couldn't walk. It's the same thing I do. Hey man, get your ass up, bruh. Just tell him get up. Hey man, get up, man. Hey, walk, man, get up. Same as when you with them little kids, little kid fall on the ground. He like, I can't get up, I can't walk, I'm tired. What you gonna say? Man, get up, and come on. What they gonna do? Get up? Same thing. It's the same thing. Most of these people, they stop taking stop taking accountability and they walk with God, right? They stop taking the walk with God. They stop taking the walk with God. And that's where they fail. They fail. You're gonna fail every time. You're gonna fail every time. Every single time. Me, I go up Kennesaw Mountain and I go up Stone Mountain, right? I walk up the mountain. Personally, I could run up the mountain up and down. But most of the people be walking, so I'll just be walking. I'll be chilling, I'll just be walking. But what I notice is the kids, when they walk up the mountain, they just like, we going up the mountain. Then you got these lazy ass fucking adults. They like, we there yet? It's like the world took so much of their spirit, they can barely run up the mountain, right? I'll be like, what mountain? I'm still on the what mountain? I already asked God to remove the mountain. So what mountain? We running up and down the mountain as a sport. It's fun to us. We just doing it just for fun, just to be in the sun, right? And that's what the scripture says. The scripture says that we won't faint, we don't get weak. You know what I'm saying? None of that stuff happens. I haven't been sick in so long. I haven't been sick in so long. The only time I get sick is when I put something stupid in my body. When I put something stupid in my body, I get sick. Literally, I get sick. And it's understandable though. It's understandable. It's understandable, right? They got so much stuff out here that and it's like if you put it in your body, obviously it's gonna make you sick, right? Especially if you don't need it. So it's all a process. It's all a process, and we patient. I'm real patient with it because I understand that it ain't gonna happen overnight. It ain't gonna happen overnight. It's not like tomorrow everybody gonna understand all of this stuff. Nah, nah, they ain't gonna get it. What my friend told me was though, like he said, the more that he talked to me, the more that he understands. He said it might take him a week or a month to understand it for him to recollect the information, but he said he started to understand what I'll be saying. I'm like, yeah, I know. Cause I don't just be saying stuff, just be saying stuff. I don't do that. Trust me, y'all. I go all day. If I can go all week, all year long, I won't say a word. I ain't gotta say a word. You feel what I'm saying? But the thing is, if I'm seeing people obviously make mistakes that I've made right in a past life, I'm seeing you make simple mistakes that can be fixed. I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna speak up. And the reason being is because I remember them days, man. I wish I had an uncle. I wish I had a dad. I wish I had somebody who could have taught me the game. I had to actually experience it my damn self. I had to get in the streets my damn self. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people miss that part. They try to read on it. They research it, thinking that that's gonna give them the experience. That ain't gonna give you no experience. You ain't never been in a shootout before. You ain't never been there, gun pointed shit, shooting dead at your face. You ain't never been there before, so you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about, right? You wouldn't get that understanding, and that's the reason why a lot of people don't like therapists. They never been in a situation. You wasn't there. You was not there. But they supposed to understand your stress and what you're going through? No, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, bro. Because again, like I said in the beginning of this video, we understand genuine people. We can feel if you actually been there before, if you've been through it, we can feel it. We can feel it, right? We can feel the realness and we can feel the fakeness. Like, y'all gotta stop playing. It's too many people pleasers. Y'all don't speak up enough for yourselves. And that's another problem. You got to speak up for yourself, y'all. You got to speak up for yourself. Got to. You have to. I told one friend. I said, we not on the same level. He's like, what you mean? I'm spiritual. You spiritual. I said, nah, that ain't it. I said, that ain't it. That ain't it. Every time he see a girl, he like, oh man, look at her, man. She look good, man. Oh, she got a big butt. I'm like, yeah, you not where I'm at. You're not there. You're not there. And that's what I'm saying. It's levels to it. It's levels to it. That's like going to one church and the pastors and them and the people with the conjuring, they know a little bit of something. And then you go to another church and they know a little something else, right? It's levels to everything. It's levels to everything. Even the Pope don't know what I know. That's how crazy this shit is, right? And it's not something to like to brag about anything like that. Like I strive to hold the wisdom and information for God to give to the people. So that's a job. That's a job, literally. Because again, like I said, most of these people out here, they're distracted. They're distracted. They don't read books. I read books. So again, there's a difference, right? While most people in their daily lives they talking about what's going on in the world, I'm talking about God every single day. There's a difference. There's a big difference, right? And that's the reason why I see blessings. I always see blessings. Anything I ask for, I always get. It don't matter what it is. I always get what I want, right? At the end of the day, pretty much that simple. Why? Because I believe in God truly compared to the rest of the people. And another test how we can put this on, like I went to the and I'm gonna tell y'all about this story real quick. And it's nothing against this girl, but I had went to the I was at a park, right? It's at a park and we walking the trail. And I'm seeing these white people ahead of us, and I see them stop, Caucasian people, whatever. And I'm like, why they stop? I'm like, why y'all stop? They're like, it's a snake. I'm like, it's a snake. I'm like, where the snake at? They're like, right here. I'm like, oh, I see. It's a little snake, a little snake. I said, oh, it's looking at me. I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right now. God gave me authority to trample your ass. You better not play. I got this girl with me and I gotta protect her. You feel what I'm saying? Because I took her out to the park. So I'm like, all right, now you play. And this is what I'm saying in my head. I ain't say that out loud. I'm saying in my head. I'm using telepath communication. I'm letting them know, hey man, hey, you gonna turn into a human real quick. I'm gonna step on you. He gave us commandment to be able to do it. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna stand in my power. You ain't finna get me. So tell me why, but this is what I'm getting to. Tell me why this girl says, oh, I can't go past the snake. I'm like, what? What you mean you can't go past the snake? I'm like, first of all, it's a baby, it's a small baby snake. Ain't no bigger than your hand. What you mean you can't go past the snake? She's like, I can't go past the snake. I said, I'm like, the white people went past the snake. You got kids standing right here. They went past the snake. We all looking at it. We looking at her like, what are you talking about? So I look down at the snake. I look at the snake and I'm like, bruh, can you please just go the other way so we can walk the trail and we can do what we gotta do? Guess what the snake did? Went the other way. Literally. It didn't go across the path. It turned his ass around and went the other way. I looked at her and said, all right, the snake gone, let's go. You see how that worked? You see how God worked through people? And again, like I said, if you don't have discernment, you're not gonna understand what I'm saying. If you wasn't there, you probably definitely still ain't gonna understand. But like I said, when you're not fearing things of this world, your reality is a little bit different from other people. See, if she was there by herself, she probably would have turned around, got in the car, went home. Right. But since I was there, since the other people was there too, and we truly didn't have any fear of what was going on, that snake that was in front of us, we was able to pass the snake. Like I told you, it's the same as the mountain, bro. When you ask God to remove the mountain is removed. Any obstacle shall be removed. You ask and you shall receive. It's pretty much that simple. But again, in this world, they gave the power to other people. Don't give the power to other people. Stand in y'all power, bro. See y'all in the next one. We out. God bless y'all. Peace.